going on, Stone?
What's going on, Jake? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man.
We got our 2 beers.
Today?
We actually got 3 beers.
Yeah.
And what else we got?
Who's our third beer? Introduce yourself, why don't you?
Well, my name is Jaxon Hevron, brother-in-law to Jake. And
I guess brother-in-law to the second degree to Stone.
Yeah,
brother-in-law. Soon to be.
Yeah. But we're happy to have Jaxon on today, man. He's going to be our third beer for the day.
That's
and
right.
We're going to learn a lot about him. Learn what he likes to eat, what he likes to do, how he got to the point to where he is.
Yeah. He'll be involved in our food review, which is coming up, our beer review, which will be in about 20 seconds.
looking forward to it.
And our draft list today, which is going to be worst ways to die.
Ugh.
So I hope you're ready for that one.
So what are we drinking today?
We got Best Made Pickle Beer, Blue Raz flavor.
At Lois would. Ooh, one down. I know somebody who won't be having any.
I'm starting to feel funny.
Well, I feel fine. I guess I'm gonna.
So, what do you say we pop these suckers open, boys? And
cheers.
Going?
Yeah, a little cheers first. Boom.
To a good pod.
My fiance actually recommended these, and she is a big pickle lover.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, boys. Go for it. Pinkies. Okay.
I don't know.
I think I expect more with the pickle, and then it hits Blue Raz, and it kind of messes with my brain a little bit.
It smells good.
It's like you melted a blue Jolly Rancher and put it in some pickle juice.
Yeah.
That might be what they did.
Yeah.
And then put...
I tell you what, it's definitely better than last week.
Absolutely. You can't get... Here's what I'll say. If you can say a blue raspberry pickle beer is better than your normal everyday light beer, you should probably change what you're doing for a living.
For sure. Yeah. Stella Artois going out of business.
At you, Stella Artois. All right, boys. Well, that is... Is this a finisher?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a finisher. I think it's something that you try to say that you've tried.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely finish it if I had to. I don't know. Jaxon, what would you give this, 1 to 10?
You know, it is 6.7%. I'll give it that.
I didn't even see that.
It is needed to finish this beer. I'll give it a solid 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
What did we rate the last one? 1? Stella Artois had to have gotten a 1.
I don't think we even rated it.
I think it's not even deserving.
I think it just got up and we moved on.
That's right. Go. Okay. Well, that's it. Made in Texas.
What would you?
By Texans.
What would you rate it?
I don't think it's terrible. I'm a fan of. I mean, I like pickles.
I give it like a 5.5. It's better for me than it is worse. I'm sorry.
Better than Stella?
Oh,
absolutely.
much.
Really?
Much.
Absolutely.
Much better.
Stella gave me deer piss vibes.
Yeah. Deer piss. Yeah.
This just gives me funky, fresh. Fresh? Not really fresh.
Yeah.
Funky, sour, fun.
This seems like something you would find over in Uptown or something like that. Uptown, downtown.
Absolutely.
One of those.
It's a
new
novelty.
beers.
It's definitely something that a bartender would have on his, not on tap, but at least like 4 in the cooler, just for novelty purposes. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But
nice.
I can set that down happily and know that I don't have to finish that.
Absolutely.
But we did also bring another one with us, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Go ahead and prop
Reach
those
over
up.
here. Grab 3 of these guys. So last week we had discussed which beer was the champagne of beers, and we did find out that it was in fact Miller High Life.
Labeled on the label, champagne of beers. So it is a twisty.
It is.
It is a twisty.
Yeah.
So,
Grab his dick and twist it! Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude! You twist that dick! Twist his dick! Twist his dick! Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Oh, dick twist!
so there we go.
I'm gonna try and
Yeah. There you go.
There we
Cool
go.
guy.
boom.
All right, boys.
I've actually never had a Miller High Life.
Really? don't think I have either.
That's
Solid.
better.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
Jackson's a
champagne
lot
beers.
happier with that one.
Okay. We're going to put this one back over
Yeah.
here in the pile.
I was thinking of Coors Banquet last week.
Oh,
When,
yeah.
beer.
I do
That's a
like
good
Coors
beer.
Banquet,
That's a good
but
beer.
this is my first time having Miller High Life.
I've been on a real, whenever I can find it on tap, a Guinness kick, because I've really noticed
Really?
the chocolatey, like it's very thick, and it's I think it's a high percentage,
Yeah, it's
And,
7%, something like that.
and it just has that like. Now apparently, so my dad, who's been to Ireland, kudos to you. He said, ain't nothing better than an Irish Guinness. Guinness over here just doesn't have that quite same taste to it. And I'm like, all right, Jim, get out of here. But it is good. It does have that chocolatey like
Yeah.
vibe to it. I like it. But Miller High Life. All right. Well, as a guest, you get first dibs on rating, 1 to 10. What would you give it?
You know, this beer is kind of like, I want to be formal, but I'm here to party. You know, like I feel like I should be
Absolutely.
wearing a tuxedo T-shirt.
Solid
Exactly,
depiction.
I'll give it a good, 7.9 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm with it.
Passing, just not what you're looking for in a student, but they're out of your class next year. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
All right.
Like it works.
Yeah.
I think people buy this to give off.
Feel fancy.
I have money, or I am distinguished vibes.
It's funny you say that because I have never seen this beer not in a 40.
So I think we stand corrected.
That's true.
Maybe we're on to a new life now.
Maybe the high life.
The high life.
All right, boys.
To the high life.
Now on today's food review segment of 2 beers. Actually, this was 3 beers and a mic. We have had the blessing to have what I have never eaten before. It actually is one of Stone's top 4 or 5 local restaurants in Dallas that he absolutely loves.
For sure.
It's either Jake's or Keller's, correct?
Right.
Jackson, have you ever had it?
I have not.
I've never had it. You say very high things about it. I have only heard high things about it. So what we got today is we got 4 of what they call, what is it?
The works.
The Works burgers. We have 2 packages of onion rings. We have 2 milkshakes, strawberry and chocolate. That subtotal only came out to like $36.
Yeah. Really cheap.
So great pricing. It was, for me to get that and some, because we had other people in the car, for me to only be waiting in the drive-thru for max
5 minutes.
5-10 minutes. I ordered
Solid.
a Sonic drink and it not show up for 20, 25. So the fact that they were able to get that many burgers, that much stuff out right fast in there, definitely high-end stuff. So,
I'm with it.
so we're going to dig into that, boys.
I'm with it. Yeah. Prepared to have y'all's lives changed. We used to get this all the time when we were kids, man. We would ask my dad specifically after school, be like, Dad, please take us to go to Keller's. And it was just right down the road, and it was so quick, so easy. And if you go in there, it's got like a little covered porch that in the springtime is just super fun to hang out on, because you get to kind of watch the Dallas life and people watch.
Mhm.
You know, I like people watch, but
Oh, look at that. It's on like an everything bagel almost.
yeah,
Everything
a
bun.
little poppy seed bun.
All right.
We will have to get better about getting our food closer to our interview,
Absolutely.
but we're gonna still rate it accordingly, I think.
All right.
All right, 1 bite and judge.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it. Oh, they've done it.
2 bite and judge. Is that okay?
How about full burger, George? My gosh.
I want to do things to this burger.
Let's just say this will be a reoccurring visit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my.
Absolutely.
Okay. Rating time. Jackson, you get the honors. 1 to 10. Give us what you think. Compare it to any other burger you've had
Well,
Yeah.
compared to Burgerland
in Paris.
in Paris, Texas, this will blow that out of the water.
Burgerland?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a definite 9.5 out of 10 for a burger.
Solid bun. The bun doesn't taste like stale or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The meat's still good, even after being cold for probably 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Cooked real well.
Not raw.
Great flavor. Not overpowering.
The veggies are fresh.
Yeah.
That's the most important. That tomato, still kind of crunchy.
Yeah.
So you know that it was cut fresh for you.
And this pickle right here has not, the pickle beer has not ruined my
Taste for pickles.
pickle buds.
Nice.
So, yeah. You give it 9.5.
I'm with it. 9.5
I think-
all the way around.
I think it's a great rating.
Yeah.
So, we got a 9.5 on the burger. Now,
Good job, Killers.
yeah.
Please go check them out. They're great.
They got
They've
a
been
couple
there for-
locations.
Yeah, they've been there for so many years.
So now we got these onion rings. Now, granted, I am going to say these onion rings have been sitting for 20 minutes.
Okay.
So, might be a little,
It's okay. I just need one.
yeah. I don't know how well they are fresh out the fryer. I don't know. I mean, we're just going to base it accordingly, rate it accordingly. Ready?
Yeah, I mean, flavor's great. You can definitely tell that they've been sitting out just because they've gotten a little soft. But
It's there.
yeah, I say you throw them in the air fryer for 5 minutes, they'd be good.
Yeah, sounds
You
good.
know, good?
But it's not too sweet on the batter.
No.
I do like a soggy onion ring.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm with it.
Yeah.
And it's not too thick either.
It's
That
not-
batter,
yeah.
it's not like an
Yeah.
all batter onion ring.
Yeah. No, you definitely get the onion in there, which is, yeah. All right.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'd give that 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Is that a good,
Yeah.
a good rating?
Yeah.
8.
Agreed.
Solid.
All right.
Solid 8.
Heck yeah.
I'm taking one more bite of this 9.5 burger.
Get it. So now, I know how we are. I mean, obviously we're all almost related. Pretty much are. We got chocolate shake and strawberry shake. Anyone here? Pick one.
Sure.
Just give it a double. Here, you go chocolate. You go strawberry. And we'll
Flip flop.
flip flop.
I'm with it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of strawberry milkshakes, but that mug is good. I tell you what.
Yeah. With the Nesquik bunny, would he be a fan?
Huh?
The Nesquik bunny.
Yeah. Sorry, I did drink it out the straw. I wasn't thinking. I figured since we'd be brothers, you wouldn't mind.
AIDS can only transfer one way, right?
That's very true.
So we're good. Yeah, that is good.
That chocolate one, though, bro,
Smack.
that'll make you want to slap your mama.
Tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama. Don't it, Willie? Yeah, boy.
Wow.
Oh. Now strawberry. I'm a big fan of strawberry.
Are you?
Yes.
I give that on a strawberry shake level. It kind of just tastes like, to me, a mixed strawberry milk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give it like a 7. But this chocolate, for me, is a 9. A 9.8.
I'm with
I
it.
mean, that is perfect flavor for a chocolate shake. Perfect flavor.
You know, for this strawberry, I would do some terrible, nasty things to have one of these. This is the
Finish
best
it.
strawberry shake I've ever had. Hands
Oh,
down.
Oh, really?
Hands
All right.
down.
So
Love
what'd you
to
give
hear
it? So I gave it a 7.
That's a solid 10.
oh, gotta love it. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. It surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not a fan of like strawberry milk, strawberry shakes, things like that normally.
Yeah.
But today, they definitely proved me wrong.
Well, let me tell you, Keller's,
Bravo.
Bravo.
nicely done.
Chocolate, probably a 8.5.
Yeah.
I love their chocolate.
Yeah, it's great.
8.5, 9. I'm with it.
All right, boys.
I'm with it.
Well, we've done
Awesome. Well, that concludes that.
it. Yeah, it does.
A few moments later.
Well, now that we're done with the Keller's hamburger review, We are now going to interview our guest of honor, Mr. Jaxon Hevron, our first YouTube subscriber.
And first guest.
First guest.
Mm-hmm.
My brother-in-law for a whopping 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Jaxon and I actually lived in the same apartment together before him and my sister got married, so we know each other very well.
Mm-hmm.
Played on the same football team in high school. Known each other for roughly how long? 7, 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, we're glad to have you on, man. And I guess just give us a brief introduction of yourself and what you kind of do, and then we can dig into the good questions.
Yeah. So I'm a project manager for a commercial general contractor here in Dallas. We specialize in K through 12 and educational facilities, which is anywhere from a 60,000 square foot pre-K, building to a 200,000 square foot high school. So anything in between Dallas and Tyler, Texas, if it's a school, we probably built it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you want to lead the way, Stone? You can ask the first question.
Yeah, man. Just kind of what has that looked like for? Or, well, actually, have you had to get on any roofs lately?
I have. I do get on roofs quite often.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that was my problem whenever I first started as a project manager.
Yeah.
I got on my parents' roofs. I got on friends' roofs,
Mm-hmm.
but then I saw this one steep roof, and it was like a 10-12, and I was like, there ain't no way I'm gonna be shimmying up that thing for the rest of my life. So that was the end of my project management days for sure. But what have been like, or what was one of the scariest times that you have been up on a roof, or have you had any incidents where you've fallen or anything like that?
I haven't personally, but the roofs we all work on are always 1-to-1 slope, just flat roofs, parapet walls. We usually go 3 stories at the max, being a school. But I have had on my job site, I fall off of some scaffolding. That's a pretty bad scenario. Nobody wants to be in. But roofs don't scare me much because
Climbing up the ladder?
1-to-1 slope. Well, we have some pretty sketchy scaffolding sometimes.
Fair.
We'll go and mark the inspection card as inspected every now and then, but it's safe enough.
Good.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're not scared to climb up on that ladder or anything like that? Oh
No,
my
you
gosh.
gotta do it
dude.
every day. You gotta just put your boots on and do what you gotta do.
What about your first day?
First day, that was a weird one. You go talk to HR, which is business professional,
Mm.
and then you go out on the job site and you meet your team. Well, in construction, commercial construction specifically, most of us we never actually go to the office. We always work out of the job trailer.
Right.
And the environment in the job trailer is very similar to a high school locker room. What's said in the trailer stays in the trailer.
Could very much see that.
So I got introduced to that my first day, pretty early on. What goes on in the trailer.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Cool, man. Cool. What about you, Jake?
Well, as a 22-year-old, as a project manager for such a, I'd say higher-end construction firm in, a large market of Dallas, how have you, as such a young age, been able to, relate and deal with people who, what's the average age of a project manager in the Dallas area? 38, 40?
It's about 30, anywhere from 30 to 40. There's a pretty big age gap due to the 2008 recession. Everybody that was in management got out of construction.
Mm.
So there's a gap of about 28 to 32, and then it skips until about 40, 40 and on.
Wow.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you do to, I guess, lessen the elephant in the room as far as your age gaps or things like that? As far as maturity wise, or things that you're able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of the tools that you use as Jaxon to relate to these people, or to just feel like an equal, or be an equal to them?
It is challenging because I walk in the room and everybody knows that they know my name, they know who I'm supposed to be, the leader of this project, and they see that I have a clean shaven face and I'm 22 years old. And
Nothing against a clean shaven face.
I know it. I get a lot of looks,
Can't
but I've learned that it's about building trust with people. It's not so much that you need to prove your knowledge to people. Like I know as much as you. It's you can trust me. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll ask you. But it's building the relationships with your clients and your architects and engineers and your subcontractors. It's eventually it'll get past an age and people will speak of you of this guy's trustworthy. I like this guy. So you can get past the age thing if you can put it behind you first.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair. As somebody who, you know, and is in a similar situation as you and just having to deal with a sort of an older crew, what do you ever feel belittled by them? Or,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so currently we have a client in a small town in East Texas, and the architect that we're dealing with directly, he's the vice president of that architecture firm. Now he's an older guy, of course. He's been in the industry longer than I've been alive, and he'll make some comments here and there to my credibility. But you just got to stop and not overreact, not react out of anger, but explain yourself and try to, like I said, just continue to build that trust with him, and just hope that eventually he'll recognize, okay, this guy's not so bad. I can trust him, and we're all on the same team, still working together. And then to build the job, we're all working together.
Right. Yeah. What does that look like, building trust in your industry? What does that look like?
Well, it comes in many different ways. There's a lot of
keeping the trailer talk inside the trailer.
Yeah, you put a lot of the trailer talk inside the trailer, but it's reaching out to guys. I work with one of our concrete subcontractors. He's been doing this again longer than I've been alive. He's their senior project manager over there. And I'll just call him and be like, hey, Joe, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Can you teach me something real fast, and then we can work through this together? Because they have the same questions for me because they don't know anything about electricians or plumbers. So they say, hey, what's your plumber going to do here? And I'll explain to him, you know, what our process is going to be. So it's not being afraid to ask questions. And on the other side of that, there's also doing what you say you're going to do.
Fair.
So I have to build trust not only with the people I'm working with, but to my bosses and superiors as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I tell somebody that I'm going to back charge you this amount because you didn't do this and this is in your contract, I got to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll burn bridges with some people,
but you held to your word.
I gotta be a man of my word sometimes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Respectable for sure. So not a lot of people, I feel, have that sort of mentality or mindset at our age. It's more of just like, you know, I need to show you that I can do this. I'm gonna prove that I can do this, instead of, hey man, trust me that I'm taking the proper steps in order to help you in the best way that I can. Because if you fail, then all your team fails, right? And if your team fails, then you fail. So it's a perfect relationship, you know. So it has to be perfectly balanced.
And I have the opinion that there is always a right way to do everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to do things, but there's a best way. And that's what I try to do every day, is find the best way to do whatever it is. And I'll ask questions to figure out what that is.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure when you get in the realm of like trying to prove, or not you per se, but you know, people in your position trying to prove your worth to these people, or prove that your ability and knowledge and stuff like that, that's when mistakes happen.
Yes.
When you're trying to showboat, when you're trying to get things done at a faster rate or at a more efficient rate, when, you know, some things, they just take their time.
Yeah.
Some things just take, you know, your 100% focus and stuff like that. And when you're rushing and you're, you know, trying to go above and beyond, and maybe not paying attention to some of your coworkers and the people that like on your team, you know, that's when mistakes happen. And then at that point, you just look like a complete dumbass, you know. And even though it's something that you were striving not to do, you end up doing it because it's just how it works.
And that's every industry, but construction specifically, when you do that, that's when people die.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have a life on the line if you're walking on a 100-foot roof or something like that, you know, especially. So that's, man.
And it may not happen now,
yeah.
But I mean, 10 years down the road, someone doesn't put up a wall right, or someone doesn't fasten something the way that something needs to be fastened, and you put any kind of pressure on it. Or maybe it's just the first time in 10 years that something's been pulled on or yanked on or needed for support. And I mean, one thing could lead, I'm sure, I mean, construction domino effect. Yeah. One thing goes down, maybe everything else can go down.
Absolutely.
You know, that's when, like you said, safety is one of the higher things, you know, as far as making those type of mistakes. So you definitely have to be on it. You have to be 100%. Even silly things like in my industry, I mean, mine isn't so hardcore construction. It's more signage. It's more, you know, putting things up like that. But I mean, when we're talking, you know, hanging up a baby chain station, or, you know, putting up a clock, and maybe you don't screw it into a wall anchor, you just screw it into the wall. Well, what if someone needed, like, what if, I mean, just crazy scenario, a teacher's reaching up to change the battery, falls, needs something to support themselves. Well, if that screws and drywall, it ain't going to support nothing.
No,
If
it's
it's
just
a
gonna
20-pound
fall in the
anchor,
face.
you might get at least something out of
Yeah.
it. Or if you put a baby on a baby change station that
Right.
you didn't properly fasten to the wall,
Yeah.
you just said, that's good enough. Well, that's a child
Yeah,
Babies
exactly.
that do have soft heads.
that could drop
They do have
4
soft
solid feet,
Yeah,
which that's a lot to them.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
You know,
Especially with a little soft head.
Yeah.
Ain't no way that thing's going flat.
I mean, that's how. That definitely happened to me a couple times because that's how I'm in the position that I'm in. But,
Yeah. I got a flat spot.
you know,
Not
Couple-
really. My fiance does though.
does she?
I call it my happy spot.
Oh,
I just like rubbing on it.
yeah,
It's just right on the top of her head right there.
nice.
Not bad.
That's
But
your spot.
that's my spot.
Keep it your spot.
Keep it my spot.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you got anything else for him?
Yeah, man. Just kind of, we're on the topic of how we're all sort of younger
Mhm.
people in our industry, and we're all sort of at the similar stages in life as one another. So, being a 22-year-old married man,
Yeah.
how is that for you when maybe half your friends are still saving up every week to go out and blow half their checks at the bar?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because lately I've kind of been thinking about that, and it's weird to think about, but I think that I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Essentially, and I've thought about that. I see all my friends last
Yeah.
night; they're out at the bar, they're all getting hammered, but I'm sitting on the couch with them, and I'm thinking there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Exactly.
I'm working on my career, working on my health, my fitness, and my marriage, my relationships, and I think I'm right where I want to be, and I think
Exactly.
I'm finally mature enough in all aspects of life to realize that
Yeah.
this is what I want.
Yeah, it definitely takes people longer than others to realize that, or some people learn that at an earlier
Yeah.
stage in life for sure. So, because it's got to be, you got to have the feeling of like missing out or something
Yeah.
like that. But at the same time, like you said, you're just you're there with your person,
Yeah.
and knowing that this is the person that you're just working on things
Mhm.
with day in and day out. This is
Yeah.
the person that you do life with.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a cooler feeling. I think Jake would agree with me as well, that that's just a much cooler feeling than going and seeing how fucked up we can get
Oh,
every
yeah.
night,
Yeah.
So,
Well, and like when you think about all those videos and stuff like that, and you're like, man, like you do feel that little bit of like, like I
That
need to
pleasure,
I
yeah.
need to head over there. I need to go down there. But then like
Right.
there's so many more aspects to that. Like
Yeah.
I'm sitting, like you said, sitting in bed or sitting on a couch and just like watching freaking, I don't know, Teen Mom
yeah.
or whatever with your significant other, and,
Right.
and you're like, man, like I'm in here watching Teen Mom while they're out like at the bar or whatever. But then you're like, but think about after the bar. How
Right.
you gotta pay for the $30 Uber home, and then you
Exactly.
have the worst night's sleep because you're staying at a buddy's house and you're on the couch.
You
and
don't get back till 2.
Yeah, it's miserable.
Yeah, by
I'm
the
in bed
time-
by 10.
Yeah,
and
by
I'm
the
like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm good.
Exactly. By the time I get up to brush my teeth to actually go and do something, I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm ready for bed now that I brush my teeth,
Yeah.
showered, everything. We're good. So
Now I got to come back. Got
Exactly.
beer on the breath.
exactly.
Might have thrown up.
Yeah.
Might have thrown up. That, yeah. If you're drinking Stella Artois, you'll definitely throw up.
You should throw up.
You should.
You
We'll
should.
encourage it.
This one time.
One time.
That's it.
Yeah. You
But
should only drink it one time, though.
yeah, that's true.
But no, yeah. So I love that outlook, though.
Yeah.
So not again, I say not many people I feel have that sort of
Yeah.
outlook. They definitely have that fear of missing out and wanting to be around that scene. But you've obviously realized that there's much
Oh,
more
yeah.
to life,
Yeah.
right, than just being behind a bar every
Yeah.
weekend. So and
Yeah.
that's cool to see. So that definitely gives us oldens some hope for the youngins.
But what knowing that you're only 22 years
Yeah.
old and already at such a high level in your industry,
Mhm.
how do you, on a week-to-week basis, or even month-to-month, or whatever you have to do in the job, at 22, and you've already reached like a certain peak, and obviously there's more and more
Mhm.
levels and more levels, but like when you realize that, you're kind of like, I'm like running out of levels. Like there's only so much ahead that I can achieve. How do you keep yourself like involved? How do you keep yourself motivated? How do you keep yourself like
Yeah.
wanting to continue to go to work and wanting, because like once you've reached that top, like a lot of people, that's when people are like, I need to go find something else to do
Yeah.
because there's nothing else to accomplish here. But as being a project manager already at 22,
Yeah.
what can you do every month, or what do you do
Mhm.
to keep that motivation going, to keep it fun, to keep it interesting?
Well, it's so when I started to get into construction, I had a professor in college, and he was the senior engineer at Disney.
Mm.
And he asked us all, why are you in construction? And we all gave different answers. My dad did it, or I like building things. And he's like, you're all wrong. I'm in this industry to make money. And that's about it.
Mm.
And I think about that now. And when I first got into the industry and I was in that entry-level position, that was in my mind. I'm just here to make money. Every company's the same. Who's going to pay me the most?
Right.
So then I left and took another job for more money. And then I realized it's not actually about money. It's about where do you want to work? What company do you agree with the vision on? Where do you see yourself growing? So I went back to Jaxon Construction, and now I'm in a position to where I'm still an entry-level project manager, but I'm being involved in corporate level decisions. I'm helping the team decide on what softwares do we want to use, who do we want to put on certain projects,
Right.
How do we want to run our jobs going forward. So to me, that's what's keeping me engaged right now. Is I know that I'm involved in the future of this company, even though I'm still just managing projects. I'm involved in the business operations of this company. So I know that for the next 20 years, I have a place here making decisions on how this business is ran. So that's awesome to me. I don't have any stake in the company, so if the company goes under, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know, but with that, I'm just trying to make the company the best for me and everybody else that I'm working with. Because I know that 20 years from now, when our owners retire, somebody's got to eventually run it.
Exactly.
So I want to set myself up for long term.
Right. You want to create a good environment for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
But right now, going to the job trailer, you still have to run a job.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
even though you're in the background helping with those decisions. But to that aspect, you just wake up in the morning and put your boots on and you walk out the door.
And do it.
And you just muscle up and do it. But I've kind of realized lately, kind of the same time I matured myself, that construction is still just a business. Like whether you're training dogs or you're installing signage or you're selling widgets, it's still a business, and you're just selling a service, you know, to make money. So that's kind of changed my mindset lately on how I'm looking at my job. Is I don't want to just see it as I'm a construction project manager. I want to focus more on the business aspect of it. And how can I help Jaxon Construction grow as a business and not just I'm building a school.
Yeah.
That's cool and everything, but I want to eventually switch my focus over to the business management and operations of the company. Essentially, is my goal.
That's awesome.
And when that, you know, when your goal is, you know, you talk about when the owner retires or, you know, whatever, you know, hangs up his boots and you want to, you know, you may want to take over. And getting involved in those now as a 22-year-old, you know, is like the most perfect thing you could do, because 20 years from now, you've already started, you know, digging your roots in. Well, as soon as you start getting into that business, you're not just looking at, like, all right, well, here's project A. We're only focusing on project A. Now that you're looking at the whole big picture, they're going to realize that. They know your input on it, and then you're going to have 20 years experience of, you might have been doing project A, project B. You might be at project freaking 55 or 60 by then. And but you've also on the side have gotten involved with the business operations, the corporate operations, all the different kinds of things that they know that you've like planted your feet in, and you've, you know, stuck your hand in the pot and all that type of stuff, and they're going to be like, you know what, Jaxon, he knows better than all these other, you know, PMs, because guess what they did? They focused on their one job and then they moved on to the next one. What did Jaxon do? He focused on his one job, but he also, you know, was talking with us about, you know, this and this as far as the corporate level.
Entirety of the program and the company and everything like that. And that's very important, man. I've learned that, especially of just, client relations, as you mentioned, is just, it's more important than the product or service that you're selling. If you give your clients an amazing product but shitty service, I promise you they ain't coming back. But if you give them outstanding, remarkable customer service, they'll definitely come back. Whether even if the product was subpar, they might still give you a chance just because you were kind to them. You know, and to know that's cool, man. That's very cool to see, for sure.
I definitely think customer relations is one of the like key points to any growing business, any growing person. I mean, it's all sales. At the end of the day, I mean, you're just trying to convince or show someone that you are the best at what you're able to do. And like he said, you know, you may have a subpar product, but as long as you give good customer service, well, they're just gonna be like, you know what? This guy may offer, you know, the top of the line, yada, 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 but I can't freaking get on the phone with them. Or it takes me 3 weeks for them to reply to an email. Why would you want that? You don't want that. you could take something that, it might be not as great, might not be the perfect of the perfect, even though that's what we strive for.
Mm-hmm.
But, you're only limited to so much of what you're able to do.
Exactly.
But if you can but you're not limited in any shape or form as far as what you can provide for customer service.
Yeah.
Right.
That is an untapped,
how hard do you want to try?
Yeah.
Right.
It has nothing to do with any kind of product limitations or anything. That's all on you, and that's a personal decision that you can make.
It takes no skill to just be a good person
at all.
Yeah.
As long as you can do that, I think your business, yourself, everything in your life will grow exponentially. As long as you can provide good customer service in your job, in your marriage, with friends. I mean, it all really comes down to customer service.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about like goals and everything like that, man, what does success mean to you? What in 20 years, not where do you see yourself?
Yeah.
But what successes do you feel that you will have in 20 years from now?
Happiness.
Happiness.
That's it.
I'm with
Being happy, no matter where I am, what I'm doing, who's in my life, it's happiness. That's it.
And what brings you happiness?
Well, my wife, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. And loving what I do, whether it's construction or not construction, I want to like what I do every day.
Right.
That's really it. Simple.
Yeah.
Don't really need too much to keep me happy. But a lot of people would say, I want a house with this many square foot and this many cars or whatever, this amount of money. But if I'm making $40,000 a year and I'm happy, and my needs are met, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Fair. Very fair.
Rather die broke and happy than die rich and just miserable.
Alone. Yeah.
Why would you want that?
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely had to think about that a lot lately as things have picked up and we start getting into the busy season and just trying to set time aside. And I'm sure that you guys struggle with this, whenever, because construction definitely has a busy season. And so whenever you guys are in the midst of your busy season, trying to set aside times for our significant other is becomes harder, but it's crucial in our relationship. And I think that, 20 years from now, that happiness comes from that extra hard work of, hanging out, even if you just got home from a job or something like that, hanging out with her for 10, 15 minutes, right? So I definitely would correlate that to your happiness. But no, I love that answer. Happiness defines your success.
Being able to give back to the younger people that will be in the industry at that time. I feel like in 20 years from now, I will have learned a lot about building things just in general. And
build your own house.
Yeah, specifically, I want to be in that position to where I am in that leadership level and I grow the younger people, because I'm very fortunate right now. I have a mentor and he's just pouring everything into me for knowledge and growth and developing my character in the industry. So I want to be able to give that back to somebody as well. Put somebody else in the same position that I've been put in. To succeed very early.
Right. For sure.
Well, and definitely in the construction industry. I mean, I see it luckily for me, and I'm sure you see it also, but I mean, when you're dealing with a large firm and, you have your vendors and you have the vendors you like, and you kind of see the same people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I do see the same companies all the time, different kind of like project managers with every single job, whether it's a different location, different school, different, I deal with some toy installation companies and it's a different lead on every single one. It depends on the area, but, different people, different vendors, and just like knowing that a lot of them show up and they just look miserable.
Yeah.
They hate it. They're just there because they have to be there, because guess what? They have to log X amount of hours at the job site. They could be in their truck. They could be sitting in the office. They could be doing whatever they need to do, but they don't give a flying fuck about anything.
Yep.
And they just go, and they go home to whatever they go home to. It doesn't seem like happiness to me. And you've told me before, you said, that the people at your job, even like some of the higher ups and stuff, like you just feel like they go to work, they've been divorced, they look miserable, they literally do the same thing every day. Wake up, go to work, go home.
The divorce rate in construction is 70%.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I don't either.
So my first day, going back to that, I had a superintendent. He's an old school guy. And he called me to his office and he's like, "Jaxon, do you like construction?" I was like, yeah, I like construction. He's like, no, do you love this? Do you really want to make this your life? I was like, well, I don't know what you mean. And he said, well, I've been doing this all my life. I hate my life. I hate my job. I hate waking up in the morning. I hate coming to work. And I hate putting my boots on. I've almost been divorced 3 times. Haven't seen my kids in about 2 weeks. So you can think long and hard about if you like this career path or not. So that's something I'll never forget. That guy telling me that my first day. So that's something I think long and hard about that's who I don't want to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How do you plan to? I mean, it may be, too early on to kind of take preventative measures or whatever. But how do you feel that you can defer from him 20 years down the road?
Yeah. So not working weekends. I'm fortunate enough being in that management position. I don't have to work weekends. I will to cover for my superintendents if they've worked 3 weekends in a row. I'll cover one for them every now and then. Not letting the stress get to me. That's a big one I'm still trying to work on.
Yeah.
Not bringing work home with me. I never work at home, and I refuse to, but I can never shut my brain off fully. I'm thinking about it 5 o'clock till I fall asleep. I'm still thinking about work.
Yeah.
It's never ending for me. So that's something I'm working on right now, is to be able to stop and de-stress. I'm starting to get gray hair. That's from all the stress.
I'm starting to bald. It's okay, man. We're good.
That's
why
what I'm
I
working
got the hat on
now.
now.
Yeah.
You take a little look here, and you got these patches going on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Farther north.
It's okay. We'll be salt and peppery before we know it.
Silver fox.
Silver foxes.
And that's okay.
I'd rather be deemed a wolf. Silver wolf.
Silver wolf. Fox is just a little too wimpy for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather be
A little more manly.
silver dire wolf.
Silver dire wolf. Silver werewolf. Something.
But
that's funny, man.
Definitely with in relation to, like you said, we started talking about customer service. We started talking about like how to keep your personal life grounded, like with the people that you love. And it's something that, I'm blessed enough to be able to attend therapy sessions with my fiance. And, when I go on the road, it's mixed. I could be 3 weeks on. I've just now have had 7 weeks. I've had 3 weeks off, a job for a week, and then 3 weeks off. So there are times like this that you are just eternally grateful that you get to spend as much time as possible as you can with your significant other, because there are times when you're gone for 3 weeks straight, or you try to make it back and you have to, communicate effectively that way. And being away and doing it over the phone, obviously it's not the same. But, one of the things that, the therapist had told Tate and I was, you just need to create a list. You need to create a list of things that make you happy, things that you're able to focus on when you start feeling like you really start missing the other person, and then you start drowning in your own sadness or whatever. Not to a point of depression, but just be feeling sad.
Yeah.
And she said you need to get into a routine of what you do every day. So the things that we do are we wake up in the morning, we text each other good morning. We find a time in the morning to call each other, pray for each other, say, I hope you have a great day. We pray that they are able to stay focused, stay busy, not allow themselves to feel sad that we're apart, because even though we're apart, we still have to look at blessings, and the blessings are, if I'm away, that means money's being made. Yeah. And eventually, when she gets out of school, she'll have a job and money will be made either way. But as for right now, money's being made. B, I definitely think that we are stronger as a couple because we spend that time apart. Because when you're with somebody constantly and all day, every day, I mean, most people have a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 8 to 5 or whatever it may be. And, they get that, not break, but just time to do what they need to do for themselves. Whether that be work or whether that be, whatever they need to do. When you're retired, it's golf. That's, allowing, whether that be man or woman or whatever their hobbies are. But, just getting that time to really focus on yourself, because you still need that so that when you come together as a couple, that you can thrive in that. Because then you miss that person. Because then you have experiences that they don't share. You have stuff that you can share, and it's fresh and it's new, and there's just a million different things. So just being able to focus on the positives of being away and the positives of maybe not being with them constantly and all the time. I mean, there's definitely it comes down to customer service and how much effort you want to put into calling them every morning and making sure that you stay in great communication, letting them know what you're doing. I mean, I can definitely struggle with that because I get sucked in.
Yeah.
When I'm in the middle of something, I get sucked in. I don't want to focus on anything else until I'm finished. And, you know, sometimes it may take 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And if I can't prepare her for that, then that's on me. I need to be able to say, just FYI, I will not be able to talk to you for, 4 or 5 hours. I mean, I'll be working on this, working on that. And then that way, she can prepare herself in her headspace.
Yeah.
And, same thing with her. When she's off being a teacher, she'll only be able to text me maybe a couple times a day.
Oh, yeah.
And for, someone who we're used to sitting and communicating all the time, that could be hard. So,
Yeah.
Just that customer service and putting in the effort. It's all about effort in the end, whether it be with the job or with relationships or whatever it may be. It's just all about giving that effort.
Yeah. And I definitely think that, that it'll change, not the fact of, getting your break or anything whenever you're married will change, but you definitely find different ways not to be grateful for your alone time, but to spend time working on yourself. I think is a good way to put it for sure.
Yeah.
So Jaxon, how would you say that you, or maybe you don't, maybe you plan on it, or how do you plan on, or how do you find time to yourself where you can just kind of decompress, and because I'm sure that Emma would, feel the stress of your job if you come home stressed and then y'all start talking and stress builds. So what are some of your ways of kind of decompressing and finding that time alone?
I use my commute in and out every day. Now that's me time. I do not answer the phone.
I'm with it.
I do not text. That either half hour or hour and a half commute, whatever it is, depending on the day, that is me time.
I like it.
I can think about, the decisions I made that day. Were those ethical? Were they moral? Were they the right decisions? And then I think about, my actions, throughout the day. Did I behave appropriately? Was I too soft? Was I too harsh? Was I too blunt in a certain situation? And then I'll think about, reactions not just at work, but like with Emma. Did I react properly in this situation when this happened? So commutes, those are my time. Just de-stress, turn music up, and just think about myself.
I like that. I like that a lot, especially because you have probably a 30-40 minute drive back home.
Yeah, some days it's about 35, and some days it's about an hour and a half.
Oh dang! Yeah. So that's good, man. Yeah. I'm right there with you on that. What about you, Jake? What do you kind of do now? Like if you and Tate have been together for 7 weeks at a time, how do you kind of find yourself to be able to decompress, or is that something that you're still trying to figure out how to do, or what does that kind of look like for you?
There are definitely things that you try to push for, and that's it is hard for some of my situations just because my work is so sporadic with when I will be home, and you try to take advantage of all the opportunities you can, and you think when you think of I'm home, but and you don't want to really do anything for yourself because you think, well, I could be on the road in 3 weeks, for 3 weeks at a time.
Right.
So you kind of feel that sense of guilt when you're like, should I do something for myself or should I do something with them? Because, if I don't, then I'm going to feel bad about it when I'm on the road for 3 weeks. Did I spend the amount of quality time I should have spent with them? Right. But I think it's it's really just how you kind of see it. And you shouldn't feel guilty about wanting to do, things for yourself. Finding different hobbies.
For sure.
For me, one of them is I love to play some video games. I built a PC. I love, playing Warzone, playing Call of Duty, stuff like that. And that's kind of me time. And a lot of my friends, they will play along with it. And that's kind of the time. I mean, me living hour and a half up to 4 or 5 hours from most of them. Yeah. That's the time with them. And, I don't get to spend, weekends with them or whatever. My only time with them happens to be, on that game or, whatever. There's no, I might see them at a wedding. I might see them every once in a while at a get together. But other than that, there's really not a lot of face-to-face time with, some of those people that I really, really enjoy hanging out with. So doing stuff like that or going and playing golf with you or, whoever.
Right. No, definitely.
Yeah. Just allowing her being in school and her friends being in school, whenever they have an opportunity to hang out, go. Don't feel like you have to be with me, take
Enjoy
these opportunities.
Enjoy
if you can do it, because I know it's so rare, take the time.
Yeah.
Go do it. Like, it won't hurt me any.
Yeah.
You know, we get to hang out. Like we said, 6 out of the last 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better situation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to take the opportunities when you can to,
Right.
either play games with your friends or go hang out and do whatever
Right.
with your friends. Stuff like that. You can't.
Because it sounds like all of our friends are, not just rocks throw away.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it seems that in my situation is very similar. All my friends are 3 hours away,
Yeah.
and so it definitely whenever like Jadera coming in, Tate's friend from San Antonio,
Yeah.
driving up. I think for them to spend time together, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
But no, yeah, I like that a lot.
And just building the relationships that I have, like with you.
Yeah.
And, we live together, and with you being Tate's brother, and that we've developed a friendship, between ourselves. We've developed a friendship between ours. You don't have to be just my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
We're able to go do things. And you don't have to be just my brother.
Right.
We can go
Play
do
golf.
things. We can go play golf. We can go do whatever.
Yeah.
We can do this. I mean, there's
Exactly.
stuff that we actually get to do to form bonds and stuff like that. And I think blessed to have you guys both in
For
my
sure.
life, especially as close as we've gotten in the last couple of years, and as close as we are
Yeah.
to be able to do things with each other on a regular basis.
Mhm.
So I think that's definitely a blessing that I've been blessed with. I don't know about y'all. But
No, for
I've been blessed with.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think I met Jaxon for the first time maybe 4 or 5 months ago, something
Maybe.
like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and outstanding. I have nothing negative to say about you at all, man. I mean, you're great. So, no, definitely look forward to kind of developing better relationships with you guys and just kind of forming that bond. I think that's important. So,
Absolutely.
for sure. I think I might add my time is just in the morning.
Yeah.
If you can find a time in the morning.
Yeah.
So just because I have to get up and everything, normally about like 5:30 is
Yeah.
normally a solid time. But man, it's just that morning time is really that decompression time that I think, if you can't find time in your drive on the way home, if you're driving with employees or something like that, or if you don't get vacation time, man, find a time in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. So, because get up before everybody else.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
other than that, that's the last thing I had to add to that. Do you
Yeah.
have any other questions for Jaxon or anything like that, man?
Man, we don't. I get the Miller High Life question has already been said. It was the last one we had. Yeah, I don't know. I
yeah.
can't think of anything else. But
We did have 2 facts for our viewers today, didn't
absolutely
we? We had 2 facts.
2 weird facts.
2 weird facts lined up for you guys today. We wanted to do a little bit of research on this because we didn't just pull these out of our ass. But Jake, what was yours?
All right. Well, this is just for public knowledge. You can now say this is a nice bar, not trick, but knowledge that you can just say on anyone. I found this out yesterday. Teeth are the only part of the body that can't heal itself. It's coated in an enamel, which is a crystalline calcium phosphate, and it's formed on the tooth when the tooth develops within the jawbone. And then once it erupts into the mouth, it's fully formed, and it does not contain blood vessels or nerves. Therefore, it's not made of cells, and is the only part of the body that will not heal itself. So how crazy is that?
Dang.
Only part.
That's very true. My sister knocked out half my mom's tooth, and that thing never grew back.
Never grew back.
Never grew back.
Thank
Kids
God
walk
for
like
dentists
this nowadays.
Thank God for orthodontists.
Orthodontists are great. But yeah. And fact number 2, we have, did you know ducks can close one eye and shut off half of their brain to sleep?
Really?
Yeah. So whenever they're in big groups or flocks or anything like that, a lot of times half the group will sleep and half the group will watch, right? Not in ducks, because any and everything is always trying to get them. So if they're if they're just sitting in a pond, every single one of them can just kind of shut half their brain off and get the shut eye that they need until the morning, which makes it a pain in the ass to kill them. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Because they're fully alert.
Fully alert sometimes, man. Dude, ducks piss me off. I hate them. I hate them.
All right. Well, since that process, weird facts is over.
Yeah.
We're now onto the draft list.
Yeah, what you got for us?
We got today. We got worst 3 ways to die. Now, how it works with draft lists are you cannot choose the item once it's been taken. So you get 3 picks. Once someone says it, it can't be used again. So you gotta think, what we got. And eventually, once we get to a platform where we're able to, release these picks out to the audience, we'll have them pick kind of like which ones that they like the best.
Showing a little clip.
And we'll do polls and see, what they do and see,
We might get banned if we put up some
yeah, maybe. What we'll end up doing is eventually we will have a competition. We'll have guests as column A, and then we'll have you and me as column B, B and C. And winner at the end of, let's just say, like the year, will maybe not get a prize, maybe the loser.
They won't get a prize.
They won't get a prize, but that'll be something. Yeah. That'll be a prize to the winner.
They'll get a nice handwritten letter.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Figure that out as it goes. But eventually we hope to get to a point where we're polling the audience and allowing them to vote and see what they like the best. So you got to make your draft picks count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can totally say for now, you're probably going to be a recurring guest.
For sure.
So thank you for being the first.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. So everybody, we are grateful for Jaxon.
We're grateful for Jaxon.
And I am much appreciative.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. First subscriber and first interviewee.
Yeah. And we will allow you, since you are the guest, to have the first. Actually, no. How about this? Here's what we'll do. You get to pick the order of the draft. So, all right. So you can choose the draft order. So kind of how it'll go is like if you pick Stone, then yourself, then me. It will go Stone, you, me. Then I get to pick a second time. And then we go back to the middle. So Stone will get technically the first and the 6th, I guess. So you have 1.
I thought he was going to go first.
Well, he's going to pick the draft.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you get first pick, you also get 6th pick. If I get 3rd pick, I get 4th pick also.
Dope.
You see how that works? So you can choose to be 3rd pick.
Okay.
You just pick the order. Pick the order. 1, 2, 3.
We'll go Stone, me, and then you.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ah,
You get first draft pick.
number 1, by far, being mauled alive by a bear or alligator.
Okay.
I'd probably go with bear because you would drown eventually with the alligator.
Yeah.
But man, I just imagine just seeing some 10-foot furry beast that ain't your mama in front of you, and you just laying back getting mauled,
Yeah.
face ripped apart.
Definitely painful. Definitely, you would probably not die initially. It would probably be a slow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the being eaten alive part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Knowing that an animal is taking chunks out of me and swallowing it, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
But that's number 1 for me. Jaxon, what you got?
Any situation that is not inherently dangerous, but you will die.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You're stuck in a hole, for example. Let's say
Oh,
you're me and you're 5'9",
Okay.
and you're walking through the woods and you fall in a hole.
You're
And
done.
that hole just so happens to be 7 foot. It's going to take me a solid 3.5, 4 days to die, if not longer.
Yeah.
And I know there's nothing I can do about it.
So getting
So
trapped.
just knowing you're in a situation, you're going to die.
There's nothing dangerous occurring. I'm not freaking out. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm going to die. There's nothing I can really do
And it
about
just
it.
takes days.
Yeah. The
that would-
psychological toll.
Well, here's the
that would
thing:
take.
do you continue to try to get out, or do you end it on your own terms, knowing that, okay, are we in a situation where help's not coming?
Right. Yeah.
No, there's no way you figure it out, and
Yeah.
do you know that? You know help's not
Yeah.
coming. You know you can't figure it out.
Right.
Do you just wait for yourself to just naturally go, or do you try to find a way to make it quicker?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like if you're in a bottom of a well or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Dry well,
dude.
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
There's no water. Can't
No.
drown yourself.
No rope. Can't pull
No.
yourself
I mean,
up.
what do you
Nothing.
do? You just hit your head on the wall until
Well, yeah.
what?
I'm shimmying up halfway and then just dropping.
Yeah, seeing if you can.
Yeah. Well, if I can shimmy up halfway,
Probably can shimmy the whole
I was
way.
about to say I'm
Yeah.
probably shimmying my ass up on out of there.
All right,
But-
number 3. I'm gonna have to say burned alive, because it takes time.
Yeah.
And getting mauled is. I agree with you. That's terrible. But it's just Pain, nothing. Pain, I mean, you're like in pain, but like
Yeah.
burn is constant and it takes time.
Facts.
So it's like the worst 10 seconds of your life.
Yeah, you have to hope that you pass out before like
Yeah.
you really start getting those third and
Like
probably
if
fourth
you're just,
degree burns.
if you're just doused in, let's just say gasoline, right? And I don't know if gasoline's like, you know how like some things you can get
burn hot.
well, like you
Yeah.
can burn
Yeah.
and then you don't feel it because
Right.
it's being burnt, not you.
Right.
Like that,
Yeah.
like hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
But like let's just say you are like you're burning, just fully, and it's the worst. Like
Yeah, I'm out.
that's got to be the worst 10 seconds of your life.
That was my worst fear for a long time. Not even gonna lie to you. I don't know why it was, but I think I saw it on 1,000 Ways to Die one time, and it was on NCIS. Thank Tate for that. And the same exact situation. This dude poured gasoline on his ex-wife or whatever at the time, and set her on fire. I'm like, that would be the absolute worst.
Too bad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, all right, wrapping it back around to 4. Pick number 4, my number 2. I would have to say. Now, when I was trying to understand the context, this was where I was understanding worst as in most painful, or like most embarrassing, because like you could just like die on the pot, right?
We could go there.
Good.
And you could be
Too big a
that would
turd.
be like imagine that in the paper, like he just died taking a shit.
You go full Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's
bad.
no, but my thing is furniture falling on yourself, and I actually have a story about that. I was actually at a job once, and it was actually a D brand, so we were taking stuff down, and there was this little basket, and it had these little wristbands on it, right? And so I picked one up, and I was like, oh, I'll wear it. I wore it for like 2 years before it broke. As soon as it broke, I was like, you know what? I've never looked up what this was. I didn't know what it was a website. It was like one of those like, when like people are going through something, they try to sell those wristbands or whatever. When breast cancer month comes around, they have the pink ones. This is kind of the same thing. It was orange. And I look at it, and I looked up the website, and it was like in a dark way funny because I didn't realize exactly what it was, but it was awareness for furniture to fall on children. Because apparently these parents, I'm sorry.
If you're out there throwing furniture on children, you got a whole new world of issues.
So they started this website and bought and paid for these wristbands, and like I had been wearing it for 2 years, not knowing, thinking it had to have been more serious than that. I don't know if that's the right word, but the fact that it was furniture falling on infants was I laughed at the moment, and then I was like, it was awareness for that. Just awareness for furniture falling on your infant. And I was like, oh.
I'm glad you're taking good.
Did I giggle? Yeah, but did I think it was like that's kind of funny that I had that on my hand for 2 years, and that's what it was. So I would say if you die
Killed by your furniture?
because you had a cabinet fall on you, that's one of the worst ways to go out. Probably that sucks. Just because that's
your legacy now.
Yeah, you're it. You're just known as that guy.
That is very true.
Whose bookcase fell on.
Yeah.
Or
Could
picture
be.
frame conked him on the head.
Yeah.
And
You're done.
right spot. Right in the temple.
Be unfortunate. Wouldn't have a lot of nice things to say at that funeral.
No. Jackson?
5?
I'm going go old school a little bit. Being crucified.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
We're
sure.
Talking full nails through the hands and feet. Real deal.
Yeah.
Poking that side,
Yeah.
seeing clear come out instead of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Dude.
I think about
The Romans were smart.
as a kid,
Yeah.
man, like
Very.
growing up through Sunday school, and they're always like, "Would you be crucified, like for God?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Guys, to be honest with you, I'm not sure.
Because to think about the pain,
Yeah.
to think about everything, and like that really happened. I mean, that was a story in Oregon, it was University of Oregon, where these kids were held hostage in a lunchroom, and the guy was like, "If you're a Christian, raise your hand,"
Really?
and then he killed them.
Really.
Wow.
And knowing that he's doing that, like, you raise your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about that, and I'm like, now I feel secure enough in my faith that I would be like, you know what? If as long as I'm able to recur, like to say something, like whether it's on camera or to whatever they're releasing, like don't let this life impact your decision. Don't allow this man to alter your faith because he's going to kill you. If you really know you're headed to a better spot,
right?
And I mean that's the ultimate sacrifice is to die for God. I mean, like if he's going to do that because you're a Christian, that's pretty shitty. But I mean, like at the time, I mean I was like 12 when this happened, and I was like, what do you say? Like, do you raise your hand?
Yeah.
Imagine being put. You can say I'd raise my hand all day long, but when you're put in the situation, do you? Like,
no,
I can't even answer because I mean, I would hope I would,
especially at the age of 12.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're like,
I mean, for sure.
But
yeah, that'd be tough, man. Crown of thorns and everything. Or well, did they do the crown of thorns, or was that specific to?
That could have been special.
Okay.
For
I
him.
I think it was because he was king, and so they did.
Right. I couldn't remember.
The Romans, they were good at a lot of things. Building roads, bridges, buildings, and they were damn good at torture as well. I'll give you that. So anything the Romans designed, one of the best.
Those whips, just little
with the cat
of nine tails. Take your
shards of
skin
glass.
off. Oh, dude! All right, on to number 9. All right, next one. I would probably say free falling, like jumping out of a plane and your parachute just doesn't open.
You just know.
And you just know.
For like 10 seconds.
Yep, 30,000 feet up. I guess, God, that's similar to, can I get it? Or is that too, okay, I was about to say, is that too similar to his?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I would love to go skydiving. That is my one fear. I'm sure that's a lot of people's fear, but hell, I'm terrified that I get out and they're like, oh, you didn't back it right.
It takes 2.5 minutes to hit the ground from 30,000 feet.
That's 2.5 minutes. You're thinking, oh,
you know, after 10 seconds, something's wrong.
Oh yeah.
And then you're sitting there for 2 minutes and 20 seconds, thinking about what you just did.
Right.
After
I'm aiming
the first
for water.
30 seconds, though, you're just like, well,
turn over and just enjoy it.
You might as well just.
It's gonna be the easiest way you could ever die.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Instant.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be kind of peaceful. Once you composed yourself, if you have 2.5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, probably the first 30 seconds to a minute, you're freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then you just accept it? I mean, at what point do you accept it? And you're just like, you're probably tugging the whole time.
Yeah.
I
But
might hold my breath, try to pass out before I hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got time.
Exactly. All right.
Well, you're falling at 9.8 meters per second.
You are. That's true.
No matter what you weigh, you will be falling at 9.8 meters per second towards the ground. So that's pretty fast. All right, well, what's your third?
My third, man, probably entrapment. Like entrapment inside of like cave diving or something like that. Hearing those guys.
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I heard a story, or I don't know if it was a recent story, but I had seen a story the other day that I was reading, and it was a guy who had gone spelunking. Yeah, spelunking is what it's called. And man, he got stuck, and his buddy came up, and he had told him before because he had gotten interviewed, and he was like, we told everybody beforehand. He said, if you get stuck, we're not coming to get you. There's no reason for 2 of us to die when there's only 1 stuck. And oh my God. No, I mean, imagine having to say that to me, or having to say that to Jaxon, right? Being like, hey man, if you're down there and you're stuck, you're dead. I'm not coming to get you, because then I die.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will never go spelunking.
I remember seeing like a story similar to that, and it was just like people can try to get there to help you, but once you're at a point where you really can't be helped.
Right, exactly.
Because, like you said, they're shimmying and
moving
their body. I mean, you could barely move as it is getting through there yourself. Pulling someone out
with gear,
cannot
oxygen
be
probably.
Cannot be possible.
Oh yeah.
Ropes.
Oh, dude, I couldn't do it. You'd probably literally just have to straight dig a hole into the ground in order to even come close.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's crazy.
that's my last one for sure.
I would probably, if I were doing that, and I knew there was a chance, right? As much as you hate to say it, like if you knew no one's coming for you, maybe like in your gear you pack like a dynamite.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like an easy way out.
And then just like hold it in your mouth and just like light it.
Yeah.
If you can. I mean, obviously you're like.
Yeah.
You try and light it with your tongue and you're stuck like this.
Then it drops and you're like.
Wouldn't that be Wouldn't that be some shit? You pack a dynamite, can't even reach it.
Yeah.
That would suck.
But, oh man, yeah, entrapment, that doesn't sound bad.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
What you got for number 3?
I forget what it's called, but it's what the Japanese soldiers did in World War II when they were dishonored or dishonorable.
Like kamikaze pilots?
No, it's they get their little katana, not the big one, but the short sword.
Yeah.
And they would disembowel themselves.
Oh, I think
You know
we
what I'm
saw that
talking
in it was in a newly released movie. Oh, what was it called?
Was it the one with the dude from Top Gun in it?
No, it's where the guy keeps going up over the hill and bringing and save. He was like,
oh, I know what you're talking about.
He had the most record saves. They had an end scene like that at the end of that movie where the guy took it and just got himself straight through the gut.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't do that. How do you bring yourself to do that?
That's honor to your nation and your whoever right there.
To your emperor.
Yeah, I mean, because that's their god, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, pretty much. Yeah. All right, last one, huh? Is that the last one? You said entrapment, and so I'm not gonna say buried alive because that's kind of the same concept. So I'm gonna go with another embarrassing one, and I'm gonna say you orgasm so hard during sex you have a heart attack.
I saw that in a Medea movie. Definitely possible.
Like maybe you had 2 Mountain Dews that day, or 2 bangs. Yeah, and you
went to town on the
like you're feeling it, you know, and maybe you have also eaten like 3 or 4 of these. What is it called? The Works burgers. You know, your cholesterol's high.
Yeah.
Your heart rate's pumping, and you just have that last.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
And it
Heart
just
attack,
takes you out.
and you're done.
A hell of a way to go.
It might be the best way to go.
It could be.
For sure.
You can see it as both ways. You can see it as one of the most embarrassing ways to go. Because, like, now the woman, she would have a story for eternity.
What do you think? You think
her
he died
stuff
with
is
a boner?
so I saw something that said if you die with one, it stays because your blood flow. Eventually, it goes down when you lose it, but I think it stays because you have nothing.
Well, stop pumping. Your heart's gonna stop pumping.
Yeah.
Does your blood pressure just go to 0?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you know, like when what is it? No, I don't know.
Because that would just suck if
you when they say like people that go to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
For having like sex and then they get stuck. You know, have you ever heard that? Where,
I never had it happen.
But like it suctions. So like I don't know how it is.
That's what happens to dogs.
Yeah.
They get stuck together.
And at that point, your blood flow's cut off, so it can't release. So you have a constant blood flow in your penis.
So if you put like a ring or something.
Yeah,
then it could do it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Open casket with a boner, that would suck.
Yeah, you'd have to have someone, a trusted colleague, just tuck it in the way.
Would you do it for me? No. Dang, I
might need a couple more pickle beers before.
We got to do a few more podcasts before we get that close.
Yeah.
Huh? That's okay.
Would it fit in the waistband? I don't know.
Next conversation.
Mine would.
Mine would be like, is it a boner?
We're sitting normal over here, boys.
It would take him a couple. Would be like, is it?
You wake from the dead, just check.
Or is it? Is it normal? Touch it and see if it moves.
It's supposed to happen.
I don't know.
Oh man. Well, I guess that just about concludes 2 beers in the mic.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you being our third beer.
Absolutely. I say one last cheers to even an empty beer.
Yeah, let's go.
And we'll take it out. Boom.
Yeah. Love being on.
We got 2 beers
And a mic.
and a mic. There's 2 beers and a mic.
Yes, sir.